Hello students, welcome back to chapter 2 of class 11 business studies. We have just discussed with sole proprietorship as a form of business organization, and now we'll come to the second kind of business organization, which is called joint Hindu family business, or in short it is called HUF, Hindu Undivided Family Business. Again, here we are going to study the features of HUF, the merits, advantages and limitations, disadvantages. Okay, before we come to features, first we'll understand in short what do you mean by joint Hindu family business. This is a very old form of business organizations, one of the oldest form of business organizations. And this is basically found only in India, because we used to have joint family, and generally in case of business, the joint families used to run business, where the head, the eldest person in the family would become the head of the business, and he would take all the decisions. So that is what is joint Hindu family business, or HUF in short. So it is found only in India, and it is one of the oldest forms of business organizations, where business is owned and carried on by the members of Hindu Undivided Family. So the people who will be running the business will be the members of the same family only. The basis of membership, how the members, how the people become members of the business, is on the basis of the people in the family who have taken birth. So the basis of membership is by the birth in the family. So those who have taken birth in the family will naturally, automatically become the member of the business, and they need to be such members will remain as members for 3 consecutive generations. So those who are for the 3 consecutive generations can remain as the members in the business. And there is a law that governs this form of business organization. It is governed by Hindu law, or it is also called as Hindu Succession Act 1956, and it is controlled, as I've said, it is controlled by the head of the family, who's the eldest member, and such head of the family is known as Karta. So in HUF, the head of the family, who's the eldest member in the family, is called as the Karta, and all the other members in the family, they have equal ownership rights, so they are called as co-partners. So in the family, the head will be called as Karta, and all the other members are called as co-partners. Now we'll study in little detail the features. As to the formation, we saw, see, in any feature we are going to always deal with the formation, liability, how is it being controlled, how long it can be continued, and who are the members. So these are in general the features that we discuss in every form of business organization. Formation, there should be at least 2 members. So to have an HUF in existence, there should be at least 2 members, and there should be an ancestral property. So they should inherit ancestral property, means there should be some property of ancestors which lies with them, which remains as the business, as the assets in the business. And membership is by the birth, so there is no special agreement needed. So there is no special agreement to call a person as a member of HUF. Only by the fact that he's taken birth in the family, he becomes a member. And so this is and the formation, so we said formation is with at least 2 members, and membership is by birth, and it should be governed by Hindu Succession Act 1956. Now liability, like we saw, liability of sole proprietor is unlimited, means dues can be recovered from his personal assets. The same thing, since the Karta is the head, he is the person who takes all the decision, so he assumes unlimited liability. Means again, in case of dues, the business losses, it can be recovered from Karta's personal assets, whereas the other members will enjoy limited liability. So only to the extent that they have a right, equal right in the the property of the family. Otherwise, if they have any personal property, it will not be recovered from their own personal property. So they are safe enough with limited liability. Control is totally by the karta, as he is the head of the family. He takes all the decisions, and whatever decisions he will take will be binding on all the other members. All the other members will have to abide by, they have to obey, they have to follow those decisions. Continuity. Now, in case of the karta, who's the head, who's managing the business and taking all the decisions, in case of his death, then the next eldest member in the family becomes the karta. So the business as such of HUF is stable. It is not affected. Like we saw in sole proprietorship, it may affect the business and the business will stop. But here, in the death of the karta, the next eldest member will soon become take over the responsibility as karta, and he will manage the business. So the existence is continuous, and it is stable, unless if the family decides to terminate any member from the business. That can be done only with mutual consent of the members. So only by when all the members give the consent, permission to remove a person as a member, then it can be done. Otherwise, the members remain all the family members remain the members of the business. In case of any minor person less than 18 years old, he also becomes a member by birth. So minors also become the members of the business. So these are the features. Now again, I said from these features there could be some merits, there could be some demerits or some disadvantages. So here we'll see the merits and then we'll see the limitations. So what are the merits? Because karta is having all the power, he is running on his own, he is taking all the decisions alone. So there's no you can say there's flexibility in taking decisions, so there is no conflict and promptly a decision can be done. So if you see positively this feature, it becomes it leads to effective control and there is no conflict because he's a lone person who will take the decision and it will be binding on all the other members. So the decision making becomes very simple for if there's only one person to take the decision, there's no conflict, there's no debate. Whatever is decided will be followed by the other members. Continued business existence. As we said, in case of death of a karta, the next eldest member will become the karta and he will lead the business. So the business remains continued. There is no obstacle, there is no hindrance in case of any such event of death. So it can remain stable for a long period. Unlike in sole proprietorship, where it gets affected, we saw. Now, limited liability of members. As far as members are concerned, they are happy that they have limited liability. So that is a merit, that is the advantage to the co-partners because they are enjoying the limited liability. So in case of any debt, their personal assets will not be touched and sold. Increased loyalty, cooperation. Success of business depends on cooperation and loyalty of all members. So this is very important element in case of HUF, where the whole business remains successful as long as there is cooperation and loyalty of members, where the members depend on the karta, and the karta also makes the members follow the decisions. So with mutual understanding only the business can run successfully. Now, limitations in case of joint Hindu family business. Limited resources, because the business is run depending on the ancestral property and only with limited members of the family who are the members of the business. So in case of expansion of the business where finance is required, there may be the finance resources may be in short, and with limited capital, expansion scope is also reduced. So they will not be able to expand the business if they rely on their own resources, because that will not be enough. Unlimited liability of Karta. We saw the co-partners enjoy limited liability, but as far as Karta is concerned, he has unlimited liability. So that is a limitation as far as the Karta is concerned. And also that Karta is burdened with the responsibility of managing the business. He has to manage the business, take all the decisions, and also suffer unlimited liability. So there is a disadvantage as far as he is concerned. And his personal property can be used to repay business debts. Dominance of Karta. The same thing can be seen negatively. If the Karta is the sole person to take the decisions, it may happen that they impose such decisions which may not be accepted by the members, and this may lead to conflicts. So if there is a lot of dominance of Karta who's taking undue advantage of taking the decisions on his own, it may not be acceptable at many times by the other members, and this will lead to conflicts. Last but not the least, limited managerial skills. As we said, the family business remains as long as the members are working for the business, and generally they are the people who give the services and take the decisions. So, and they hardly depend on the outside human power, or they don't hire the managerial experts. So this may lead to Karta not being an expert in all the fields, since he is the only person taking all the decisions, and he may not be an expert in all the fields as far as technology is concerned or specific areas are concerned. This may lead to unwise or long decisions, or there may be, and it may lead to poor management and further losses in the business. Now, the businesses which were purely run by the family members, this is what we are talking about in HUF. With lack of people of expert knowledge, lack of hiring people from outside, there are limitations where you work with your own resources, with your own family members as the resources. So, and nowadays that many joint families are not in existence. People there you can see in a lot of nuclear families. So this has led to decline in the business of joint Hindu family business. So the joint Hindu family business is on a decline. Now the popularity is reduced because of diminishing number of joint Hindu families. So as long as we have joint families, there could be such businesses, but because the joint families are now reduced to nuclear families, it is not possible to have such family businesses. And there was an amendment changes in Hindu Succession Act in 2005. So it is called as Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005. According to this amendment in the act, now also the daughter of any co-partner in the family by birth will become a co-partner. So earlier the daughters were not given equal rights, but now the daughters also equally get the rights to become the co-partners, and if there is an eldest member who is a female also can become a Karta. And now the married daughters have equal rights in the property of joint Hindu family. Even after they are married, they may still hold the rights in the property of their father's family. So this is about joint Hindu family business. We've seen the definition. There is a Karta, there are co-partners. We've seen the features, we've seen the merits and the limitations. We've also seen how it is now on a decline, and how now with the amendment in the act, it believes in gender equality, and now even the women, the daughters also, even if they're married, will get equal rights in the property of Hindu family, joint Hindu family business. So that is all with today's topic. Now we come to the exercises to be done in the notebook. So you can see there are few questions. So go through them and you first note down all the points given here in the resource sheet, and later on you solve the questions in your notebook. Thank you.